When parties finally make that tough decision to separate, either one or both of them make it at the same time, I find that one of the biggest concerns for them is what's going to happen with their children. Depending on the age of the children, there are some decisions that need to be made for them. Typically, when couples are together, they find a way to make those decisions either jointly or one person acquiesces to the other parent's decision. When parties separate, it becomes more complicated. One person may want to make those decisions to the exclusion of the other, or the parties are just unable to communicate effectively to make those decisions in the best interests of the children. The other side is, where will the children live and how much time will they spend with each parent? And that's the parenting time. The terms have been changed most recently regarding what we used to call this. It used to be called custody and access. Courts found that custody was sort of like a possessory term where, I have custody of these children. Access almost felt like something that, was given to you because of your status. You get access, I have custody. It added to the conflict. Someone decided, and I agree with them, that decision-making responsibility and parenting time were less controversial, less acrimonious terms. Decision-making responsibility deals with which party will make decisions regarding the children. And it's not day-to-day decisions. It's not what will your child have for dinner, what time will they go to bed. Those decisions are usually reserved to the parent who's caring for the child at that time. What we're talking about here with decision-making responsibility is things like educational decisions. What high school? Are they going to go to private school? Are they going to go to public school? Are they going to go to a religious school? Healthcare. Which doctor they're going to go to? Religion. Has the child's religion been chosen? Will they continue down that path? Those decisions, if they can't be made jointly after separation, will need to be made by one party, or perhaps one party makes one decision and the other party makes the other. Parenting time is, again, scheduling. What time and when will the child or children spend with each parent? We'd often see primary residence with one parent and a schedule for another parent. But we're finding that it's a lot more fluid these days. So if some other type of parenting plan works for your family, as long as it's in the child's best interest, you won't have a problem with it. The first few questions people talk to me about after separation is where their children are going to reside, with whom they're going to reside, and how much time they're going to spend with each parent. During most relationships, it's almost impossible that everyone does everything equally. There are certain roles that one parent takes on that the other parent does, and this has all changed. After separation, each parent is faced with the reality of being the only parent in the household. And when the children are with them, they've taken on the roles of both parents. A lot of times parents want to define those roles, and they want to know exactly where the children are going to reside, because if the children are spending a large amount of time with one parent, they've got a plan. They've got to get proper accommodations. They've got to look at schools. They have to look at activities. Parents want certainty, but unfortunately, separation doesn't bring certainty. It usually brings uncertainty. And that's where we can help. We can help parents understand their rights, understand the children's place in all of this, and how their lives are going to change. And we'll help you figure out the road ahead. There has to be a willingness to cooperate. The professionals can assist in the communication aspect of it. And as long as everyone starts from the same premise that we have to figure out what is in this child's best interests, I think it's a positive thing. The key, I believe, is minimizing the disruption in the child's life. They have a new reality. Life has changed for them. And we want to ensure that going forward, they feel secure, safe, they thrive in each parent's care. With that in mind, we sit down with our client and we ask them questions about how things went and where they saw things going. And it's compromise. No one is going to get exactly what they want. Most of the time they don't. If it's going to be fair, it's going to be a compromise. So it's very important to have the child benefit from each parent's skills and experience. And we try to combine that into a parenting plan, keeping in mind, of course, their comfort and their security. Oftentimes people would ask me, Raffaelle, isn't it true that mothers always get primary care of the children and fathers always end up just paying support and seeing the kids on weekends? That's no longer the case. I mean, historically, when you look at it, I mean, gender roles have changed over the years. Fathers have become much more involved in the upbringing of children while the families are together. And there's no reason why that shouldn't continue after the parties separate. If you have a situation where, mother was a stay-at-home mom and dad was working, 11 to 12 hours a day and only saw the kids on weekends, it's common that either you negotiate or the courts will order that the status quo continue, because that's the way it's always been. But it doesn't mean it can't change. There could be a transition period where the parent who wasn't as involved as they wanted to be starts to be. They can get more parenting time. Nothing is set in stone. Very often I have people saying, well, at the very least, I want 50-50 parenting time. They feel that unless they get exactly 50% of the time, it's a failure for them. They have not lived up to what they thought, what they owe to their children. I usually talk to them about the quality of time that they were spending with their children to begin with. And some people, when you ask them that, they say, wow, no one's ever asked me that before. I turn to them and I say, well, maybe now is the time where you're going to spend more time with your children. And they say, how? I don't live with them anymore. Well, the time that you do have with them, you're going to actually spend with them. Put the iPhone away, put the iPad away, go for walks with them, do things with them, take them out to dinner, and engage with them, and you'll find you're probably going to spend more time with your child than you ever did when you lived with them. Often I have people ask me, should they leave, the matrimonial home or the family residence? And if they do they lose their decision-making responsibility rights for their children, and how it'll affect their parenting time? You don't necessarily lose your ability to make decisions, because ultimately it's what's in the child's best interest. So, for example, if a mother is suffering intimate partner violence and she just needs to get out, obviously the best thing to do is for her to leave. If she can't take her kids with her, don't worry, get out, get safe, and your rights with respect to decision-making responsibility and your parenting time are not going to be taken away from you. If you leave and you don't do anything about it, you get your own place and you move on, and you just don't address it through negotiation, mediation, or the courts, a status quo can be established where the parent who has primary care of the children, a year goes by and things are going well, the children are thriving. That person can make the argument, hey, look, he or she left and the kids are doing great. This is the way the final order should be, or this is what the separation agreement should say. So if you're going to leave, do something right away. Don't sit back, because then the court will consider the fact that a status quo has been established and you acquiesce to it. Whenever we have someone call us asking for some advice, usually we'll have a telephone call with them, see if we can assist. And when we've determined that, okay, this is someone that needs our help, we'll sit down with them. And the first thing we do is we listen to them. We listen to their story. We want to find out about the family dynamic, children, finances, accommodations, safety. If there's been any intimate partner violence, any other type of criminal charges, we would pretty much need to know everything about you. It's confidential. Our team is equipped to understand the duty of confidentiality. And then we sit down and we plan. Is this a case that's appropriate for negotiation of a separation agreement? Perhaps this is a case where we could use the assistance of a mediator. Sometimes we know right off the hop that given what we've heard, this is headed straight to court. And we're prepared for all three of those avenues. By far, in my view, the most important part of a separation is figuring out the plan for the children. It's an important aspect of family law. It's one that we are extremely experienced in, and we can inform you of your rights and we will tell you the strengths and weaknesses of your case and try to get you the best result. My name is Raffaelle Masellis. I am the team lead for the Family Law Division here at Pace Family Lawyers. I ask you to give us a chance to help you and draw on our experience to help probably one of the worst times in your life be a little easier.